Yeah, no, what's funny is in that interview, he was actually describing what happens to him in fights. Because that's never happened to me. I've never lost my soul in a fight, but it happens to him all the time. So what's funny is he was projecting his own emotions of what happens to him onto me by saying, oh, you're going to crumble and your soul's going to leave your body and you're going to be fighting. That he was just describing his own internal feelings of what happens to him in fights, which I find funny. So it's going to be mentally very difficult for him when I start to win rounds and he can't hit me. It's going to be very entertaining to watch and to see him be frustrated.
Do you know, I was actually looking at myself today. I'm a very respectful guy, brought up by a good family, but if I can kill you, I will kill you. That's just how I am. And this is just the job I do, so let's go.
Jake Paul's father just dropped a bombshell statement about Anthony Joshua's vulnerability heading into their upcoming fight, and boxing insiders are revealing exactly what makes this matchup so dangerous.
Anthony Joshua, he's a bad man. He's a big dude. He's strong. He's powerful. He's good looking. Great smile. He's got it going on. But he's got way more experience than Jake. But he also has a lot of holes in his fight. I mean, he's very straightforward. His foot movement's not that great, and he's not as fast as Jake.
Greg Paul claims his son has discovered a weakness in Joshua that nobody else has exploited, involving targeted attacks to the body that could fundamentally change how this fight plays out. According to the elder Paul, there's something critically different about facing Anthony Joshua right now, compared to the champion everyone remembers from his prime years. The former two-time heavyweight champion recently suffered a devastating knockout loss to Daniel Dubois back in September of last year, and that defeat might have created lasting damage beyond what shows up on the surface. Greg Paul pointed out something that medical experts have long discussed, but fighters rarely acknowledge publicly. When someone gets knocked out repeatedly within a relatively short time frame, the body develops an almost involuntary protective mechanism that kicks in faster each time.
You talked about the holes in AJ's game. He maybe didn't look his best last time out against Daniel Dubois. Do you feel like it could be a case of Jake getting at me at the right time?
I think that after a person's been knocked out multiple times in a row like Anthony has, your body just knows to shut down quicker in self-preservation. I don't think it's going to take as much to drop him. He's probably also not used to the body shot that Jake's going to give him. And I think Anthony's going to be in for a rude awakening.
Joshua himself has been candid during the build-up to this fight about needing some genuine time away from boxing. After getting knocked out by Dubois, he spoke openly about requiring a reset period before returning to the ring. That kind of honest self-assessment shows maturity and self-awareness, but it also raises legitimate questions about his current state of mind and whether he's truly recovered from recent setbacks. Many observers have wondered aloud whether Jake Paul might be catching Joshua at precisely the wrong moment in his career, when doubts have crept in and the aura of invincibility has been thoroughly shattered.
I'm carrying boxing on my back. I've done it with the Ngannou fight, and I'm going to do it again. I understand the expectation. I don't carry it because the expectation I have of myself is already enough, but I understand it, I acknowledge it, and I respect it. But that's about it as far as outside concern about this fight.
One of Jake Paul's heavyweight sparring partners recently opened up about what training camp has actually looked like behind closed doors. Cassius Chaney spent significant time in the ring with Paul and came away with observations that challenge some of the prevailing narratives about this fight. He said, "Honestly, the first day, I wasn't sure on how hard they wanted me to go. I was really too sure what they wanted me to do. But the spent day they said, go after him. Do what you want. He's more athletic than we've been able to see because of the guys he's fought. He works hard."
Who do you got for the Jake Paul versus AJ fight?
AJ.
Why?
Anthony Joshua, one of the best heavyweight boxers. Look, you win some, you lose some, but he's one of the best heavyweight boxers of our time right now. I'm sorry, he's one of the best. He's up there, at least top 5. Come on. And nothing against Jake Paul. Nothing against Jake Paul. I think Jake Paul is an awesome boxer, but he's not a heavyweight. Size matters.
The roster of sparring partners Paul assembled for this camp tells its own story about how seriously he's taking this challenge. Besides Chaney himself, Paul brought in Frank Sanchez, Lawrence Okoli, and Jared Anderson. These aren't washed-up fighters looking for easy work. These are legitimate contenders and champions at or near the heavyweight level. If Paul somehow manages to win this fight, the ramifications would echo throughout boxing history. We're talking about one of the most shocking upsets the sport has ever witnessed, comparable to Buster Douglas knocking out Mike Tyson, or Hasim Rahman stopping Lennox Lewis. The overwhelming majority of analysts and fans expect Joshua to end this quickly, probably within the first or second round, then move forward with plans to face Tyson Fury sometime during the following year. That Fury fight represents the mega event British boxing fans have been demanding for years, and a clean knockout over Paul would keep that possibility alive and thriving.
For sure, this is the biggest upset in sports history that's about to take place on Friday. Yeah, on paper, the cards are stacked against me. But really, in terms of boxing, I'm a better boxer than AJ, which is like hilarious to say. But he's got 2 left feet. He's stiff. If I was his coach, I'd put him in a dance class first before trying to box. And really just bringing in the right sparring partners to help me prepare so that I can get looks that are similar to him, and that's really just been the strategy. But I'm just going to go in there and display all my skills. No, I mean, like when I win, my Instagram caption the day after was going to be heavyweight champion of the world. Like if this fight was a couple months ago, I'd be the heavyweight champion of the world, you know, before Dubois, you know, whatever. But I'm just getting warmed up, you know, so we'll see. I'll become the heavyweight champ, cruiserweight champ, whatever. Canelo, Crawford, all of these guys can just take a ticket, and we'll see who I want to fight.
Heavyweight Adam Konaki recently had the opportunity to watch Joshua train and came away thoroughly impressed with what he saw. After observing those sessions firsthand, Konaki felt comfortable predicting that Joshua should win by knockout. He described Joshua as looking really sharp and focused during training, moving well and showing all the qualities that made him a world champion in the first place. However, Konaki also gave Paul credit for having the courage to accept such a dangerous fight. He acknowledged the whole situation seems somewhat crazy, given the size difference and experience gap, emphasizing that this will be an extremely tough challenge for Paul to overcome.
I think Joshua should win by knockout, you know? He was really good in training. But you gotta give it up for Jake Paul, you know, taking the chance, you know? I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's gonna be a really tough fight for him, but we'll see, you know, it's boxing, and one shot could change everything.
Did you get a chance to see Joshua spar the other day, or just?
No, just training. He was just doing training.
If he does win, they're talking about him and Tyson Fury at the end of 2026 now. What do you think of that fight? Who do you think would win that?
It's gonna be a great fight. I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be an amazing fight. I think, especially for Brits. I mean, you have a guy that's you want to see like who's the king of Britain, you know? So it'll be a very good fight, and I'll be very excited to watch it.
David Hay offered an interesting perspective that focused less on competitive analysis and more on betting strategy and value assessment. Rather than dismissing Paul's chances entirely, Hay explained why someone might consider placing a wager on unlikely outcomes from a pure gambling standpoint. Betting on Joshua to win straight up offers almost no financial return because the odds will be so heavily skewed in his favor. However, putting money on Paul to somehow pull off the upset, or betting on unusual results like a technical draw, no contest, or regular draw could potentially return 10 times the initial stake.
Okay, if I'm a betting man, if I'm betting with high bet and I want to go and put a bet on, it's not really worth betting on Anthony Joshua because he's such a heavy favourite. You know, I'd bet for Jake Paul to win for a no contest, a draw, technical draw, or something crazy to happen. I'd bet Jake Paul some fight either finds a way to win or get a draw, technical draw, or something, because you'll get 10-1, you get 10-1 odds that way round. So you put 100 quid on that, you get 1,000. You put 100 quid on AJ, you get 10 quid back. It doesn't seem like it's worth betting.
So it's worth betting on Jake Paul then?
I'd say yeah. Don't put your life savings on it, but if you're gonna have a little flutter and you want to get something back, you'll get massive odds. Obviously, he's such an underdog, such a massive underdog, that it's like, okay, you might as well put a little bit on there just to make it interesting. So if I was gonna bet on this fight, I'd bet on Jake Paul in some way, shape, or form to get the massive surprise upset victory. It will be the biggest sporting upset, I think, if this happens. Not just boxing, in any sport. The fact you'd get someone with such a lack of experience at the world level challenging someone who is world level and has proven it and has been number one, been up there with the world belts, unified championships, Olympic gold medal, world championship silver medalist as an amateur. It's crazy to think, but the fight's taking place, and I'm gonna go with Jake Paul by something crazy is going to happen.
Deontay Wilder took the conversation in a completely different direction by openly questioning whether this entire event represents genuine athletic competition. The former two-time world champion, who knows both the heavyweight landscape and Joshua personally from their rivalry, has made bold claims suggesting this fight might not be what it appears to be on the surface. Despite carrying the label of a sanctioned professional bout, Wilder implied the whole thing might actually be choreographed entertainment disguised as legitimate sport.
We're a week away from Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. What have we got here?
As I look at it, for the fans, it put boxing still on the map because it keeps boxing relevant. Having exhibition fights like this, different celebrities and different things like that. I look at it as a fun thing for fans and stuff like that. I don't really take it seriously, because we in the business of boxing. That right there is just exhibition stuff. But I'm hearing they say it's a real fight. But yeah, it's a real fight because both guys are getting in a fight. I'm still the one that be thinking certain things are scripted as well too. So, but we'll see. I always say may the best man win, and main thing about it, may those guys go in there and have a hell of a lot of fun. You know what I'm saying?
Francis Ngannou brought credibility to the discussion based on personal experience, having been stopped by Joshua in the second round when they fought back in March of the previous year. The former UFC heavyweight champion admitted he was genuinely surprised when news of the Paul-Joshua matchup first emerged. Despite that initial shock, Ngannou expressed real curiosity about how events will unfold. He figured Joshua must have calculated reasons for accepting this fight, and regardless of all the controversy surrounding the announcement, Ngannou finds himself legitimately interested in seeing what happens.
What do you think happens?
Well, fight. They're going to step in the octagon, in the ring.
The ring, yes.
That's what's going to happen.
No, I know.
Fight.
But who do you think wins? What do you think actually happens in the fight?
I think AJ wins. Do you think otherwise?
Well, do you think, I think there's a lot of people who think he's going to knock him out in the first round.
Yeah, I would say so. But why exactly Jake Paul took that fight? That's what I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
What is his strategy?
Do you think it's dangerous? Do you think it's foolish for his health to take a fight? You've been in there with AJ. You know how good he is. Do you think it's foolish for him to take this fight?
Not foolish, but again, I don't know I don't understand. He's the only one that can know the reason, and I'm sure they thought that through, right? He didn't just wake up out of the blue and decide to pick AJ or me. Whatever.
Teddy Atlas provided a more balanced breakdown that acknowledged Joshua as the heavy favorite, while also recognizing certain vulnerabilities that have become apparent in recent performances. Atlas identified the Dubois loss as a significant turning point, after which Joshua has seemed different in subtle but important ways. The extended gaps between fights and lingering questions about his psychological state have created an atmosphere of uncertainty. Atlas suggested Paul might be able to exploit his youth, his movement, and his structured approach to survive certain portions of the fight.
Former heavyweight champ is supposed to go and win by knockout. I understand all that, what people are thinking. But I tell you one thing. With all that, Joshua has been inactive. Joshua was destroyed in his last fight. I know it was against a fighter, a top fighter, not against a guy that's been fighting a couple years and has had very little background. I understand Teddy understands that. I just break it down, all of it. And with having said that, Joshua has been inactive. We don't know where he is mentally. We don't know where he is physically. He's been gone for over a year. We don't know. We know he's coming off a bad loss. We understand that. in his last fight. And so we don't know where he's at, but we know Paul's young. We know that he's got legs. He's got a jab. Who says he can't get in there for 8 rounds and motorcycle around? And you know, what is winning for him at this point? Going and knocking out Joshua, which would be unbelievable and unlikely, or doing something no one expects, taking on this challenge. He's already got everyone's attention, taking on this challenge, and then going in there and going the distance. Maybe, you know, in a way that no one thought he could.
Amir Khan voiced much more serious concerns that moved beyond competitive analysis into ethical territory. He openly questioned whether athletic commissions should even be sanctioning this type of matchup in the first place. From Khan's perspective, pairing Paul with a heavyweight who has built his reputation on violent knockouts represents an irresponsible decision. He believes financial motivations have overridden legitimate safety considerations. Khan pointed out that Joshua has hurt and stopped elite-level fighters throughout his entire career, and the disparities in both size and experience are so extreme that Paul could suffer serious physical harm before even having a chance to adjust or defend himself properly.
Look, first of all, I think Nakisa hates Jake Paul because he wants him dead, I think. That's what it comes down to. Me and JB had a meeting with Nakisa and he was giving big ones, which I did not understand. He's not really like, come on. But like, he really wants to see his own friend that he calls my childhood friend hurt. That is wrong, bro. Like, you know what I mean? He's chasing the money. So he's just gone straight to the money and put my man in the firing line against a heavyweight champion who can hurt him and literally cause him problems in the future as well. Don't you believe me? You believe that? I mean, AJ hitting him with that big right hand. Oof. Look, if AJ hits him with a shot like he hit Ngannou and knocked him clean out, I mean, even Ngannou would knock Jake Paul out. But that just shows, like, but you can't mess with the sport. Boxing, you can't mess with boxing. Oh, the boxing is a sport that you have to respect. You're always at one punch away from getting hurt, and something bad's gonna happen one day, and they're gonna regret it. They're gonna say, "Oh, why did we take that fight?" It's not like they need the money. And if I was AJ, and so a YouTuber come to me who's tiny, who's smaller than me and weaker than me and has no experience at all, you think I'm gonna say no to him? Like, come on, bro. Like, and they pay big money, but let's just hope AJ goes there, knocks him out, ends this YouTube boxing, because in a way someone is gonna get hurt badly, and this could be the fight that someone gets hurt so bad that they will never ever get sanctioned to ever fight again.
Joseph Parker carries unique authority when discussing Joshua, having been the first fighter to push him the full 12-round distance when Parker lost his title in their 2018 encounter. Parker spoke directly about the danger Paul faces, emphasizing that Joshua is a naturally massive heavyweight who has already accomplished everything the sport has to offer. From Parker's viewpoint, the result seems virtually predetermined based purely on physical advantages and accumulated experience. Joshua possesses too much raw power and too refined a skill set for someone at Paul's level.
That's crazy that you can say Jake Paul is actually fighting Anthony Joshua. That's crazy.
Well, let's just say that straight down the middle, proper fight. What do you think? How do you think that unfolds on that night?
You would have to say that Joshua is too much. He's a natural heavyweight. He's been a unified champion of the world. He's done everything in boxing. You would have to say that he's going to come in there and knock him out.
If you're Jake Paul, knowing the skill sets he's got, how do you survive 8 rounds against Anthony Joshua? What do you do?
8-round fight?
Yeah.
8-round fight.
10 rounds close.
What do? You're defensive, and you pick your moments if you can, if there are moments. Like, he backs himself, Jake Paul, so you never know. But at the end of the day, I think everyone that's involved in boxing and knows boxing, Joshua's too much for him, way too much.
Alexander Usyk weighed in with the quiet confidence of someone who has dominated the entire heavyweight division. Having defeated Joshua twice, beaten Tyson Fury in consecutive fights, and added another victory over Dubois, Usyk stands as the undisputed king of the weight class. From that position at the summit, he saw no need for lengthy analysis or complex tactical breakdowns. To him, the gap between Joshua and Paul is both massive and obvious. Joshua competes at a level Paul has never accessed, and Usyk's brief comments reflected the certainty of someone who has already defeated the very best version of the fighter Paul now faces.
Yeah, you're correct. If Anthony Joshua won, Anthony killed this guy. Listen, a lot of questions, blah blah blah. Only one my answer. Anthony Joshua is Olympic champion. First. Jack Paul, it's sportsman, YouTuber, showman. Rolls Royce, Fiat. Listen, it's true. Yeah, I'm not. Типа я не обзываюсь.
I have nothing bad in mind.
Yeah. It's just true. It's business, more money. Only this.
So we need to pray for Jake Paul.
Yes. I will pray Jake Paul because I want fight with Jake Paul in octagon.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor approached this matchup with visible concern rather than the excitement typically associated with major boxing events. Having observed Joshua up close from ringside positions at previous fights, McGregor understands exactly what kind of danger accompanies heavyweight punching power. His commentary centered not on entertainment value or competitive intrigue, but on genuine risk assessment.
He's going to get knocked out by AJ though, isn't he?
If he makes that walk, gotta give him his respect for that. It's very dangerous, you know. It seems like Netflix are all over him. It's a dangerous sport, and you can't overlook that. Joshua's a big boy and a powerhouse. I've sat ringside and watched Joshua. That's a heavy punching man, and he's a happy and he's a good kid. He has an anger in him. He has a darkness in him, does Anthony Joshua. I don't think a lot of people suss that. So, the fight shouldn't go ahead. In my opinion, the fight shouldn't go ahead. If he does it, I'll give him his respect for that.
Dana White stripped away all technical analysis entirely and focused purely on spectacle value. Rather than debating credentials or dissecting fighting styles, he framed the entire event around pure curiosity and the unknown factor. People want to witness what happens when someone who built fame through digital platforms and social media steps into a professional ring with a powerful, seasoned heavyweight champion.
See the fight that's reportedly being worked on for December 19th in Miami.
Did I see the fight being worked on December 19th in Miami?
Yeah.
No.
Do you know which fight I'm talking about?
No.
Fair enough.
Oh, Jesus. That's a bad idea. That's a bad idea. But let me tell you what. A lot of people will watch that one.
Will you watch it?
Sure. You know what everybody's tuning in for on that one. I think everybody's going to get what they've finally been waiting for.
The fight represents different things to different people, depending on their perspective. For some, it's a legitimate sporting contest between two professional boxers operating under sanctioned rules. For others, it's a carefully orchestrated spectacle designed to generate maximum revenue while offering minimal competitive uncertainty. For still others, it's a genuinely dangerous situation where a less experienced fighter might suffer serious harm in pursuit of fame and financial gain. What nobody can dispute is that the fight has captured public imagination and sparked conversations that extend far beyond the usual boxing circles. And when the opening bell finally rings, millions of people will be watching to see which narrative proves correct.